What's up, guys? Welcome to Google Motoring YouTube channel. So in today's quick video, I'm going to talk to you about why I think the BMW E90 generation was the best BMW 3 Series generation that was ever created. So, you know, as everybody knows, the BMW 3 Series has always been the market leader in these kind of small, you know, the small, kind of small to mid-size luxury sports sedan market. You know, starting all the way back from the, you know, the predecessor to the 3 Series. You know, the 2002 from the 1970s, and then, you know, all the way to present day. For years, the BMW 3 Series was always on the car and drivers top 10, you know, list, and really throughout that actually stopped in when the F30 generation was released. The F30 generation was the 3 Series that replaced the E90 generation, which is the one that I'm driving here. And you know, in many ways, I'm not surprised that the E90 generation ended up kind of being the last BMW 3 Series that was included in Car and Driver's top 10, because it really was the last of the true BMW 3 Series. And what I mean by that is it was the last of the analog BMW 3 Series. It was the last BMW 3 Series that was that came equipped with hydraulic steering, and kind of gave BMW that legendary steering feel that it was known for. When the F30 came out in 2012, it started using the electronically assisted steering racks, and that BMW 3 Series got absolutely brutalized by Car and Driver and other car magazines for its you know, bad steering feel. And honestly, you know, kind of that lack of steering feel really kind of was its defining, you know, characteristic, and something that it was that the reviewers complained about for years to come, and still do to an extent. I think some of that electric steering has gotten better over the years, but when the F30 generation first came out in 2012, it was absolutely brutalized by the reviewers. And if you compare it to, you know, the steering feel that's in this E90 generation 3 Series, then I think it makes perfect sense. But really what I'm trying to get at, the reason that in my mind the BMW E90 generation was Pinnacle 3 Series is, there's a couple of different reasons, but I'm going to start with the selection that was available, you know, for the buyer with the E90 3 Series. You know, so when the E90 3 Series came out, you could get this car, at least in North America, with a naturally aspirated inline 6 engine, which is the one that this car comes equipped with, the N52. You could, so that was the entry-level BMW 3 Series. Starting in 2007, it was the 328i. You know, in 2006, when it first came out, you know, the entry-level was the 325i, and then the top of the line was a 330i. So, you know, both of those were inline 6 engines. But both of those were inline 6 engines. Jeez, crazy. But the 330i was producing more horsepower at 255 horsepower versus the 215 horsepower that was being produced in the 325i. But, you know, with 2007, BMW released the 335i, and the 335i was, you know, a turbo. It came equipped with the N54, which was BMW's twin turbo engine, producing 300 horsepower and 300 pound-foot of torque. And then the 325i was, you know, you could say got an upgrade, and it became the 328i, producing 230 horsepower. Or you can say, you know, the 330 was detuned and went from producing 255 horsepower to 230 horsepower. But, you know, so starting in 2007, you're able to buy a naturally aspirated inline 6 engine the N52 that everybody still wants to this day, you're able to buy a a twin turbo inline six engine that's producing a ton of horsepower stock, especially at that time and age, and then also that kind of has crazy tuning potential. And then you were also, with the when the M3 came out, that car came equipped with a naturally aspirated V8 engine, right? So with the E90 Generation 3 series, you were able to buy a naturally aspirated inline six engine. You were able to buy a twin turbo inline six engine, and you were also able to buy a naturally aspirated V8 engine. The three completely different engine platforms that were available to the consumer, and each one of those platforms resulted in the creation of a car that was different to drive. The way you drive a 328i or a 330i or 328 or 325i is different than how you would drive 335i, right? So with 328i, you got to rev the engine out. In order to produce any power, you got to rev the engine out. Compare that with the 335 that has a ton of torque, as a result of it being a twin turbo platform. You don't need to rev it out. You've got all the torque you want, right from the idle. And then of course with the V8, a high revving V8 that the E90 M3 came equipped with, you again, like with the 328i, you had to rev it out, except you had that beautiful V8, that was a high revving V8 and that produced an amazing sound. So there were so many options that were given to the consumers. And then when the F30 came out, you basically went from either having a 4-cylinder turbo engine that was in the 328i initially, and then later called the 330i. So it was either a 4-cylinder turbo engine, or you were able to get a 6-cylinder turbo engine in both the 335i and later to be called the 340i. And then also with the M3 and the M4 platform, you were getting again a inline six turbo engine. So you were effectively getting the same type of a car, right? Like, I mean, the difference between a 335 and an M3 was just obviously more horsepower, and obviously some of the suspension upgrades that you get in an M car. But it was still kind of the same platform. It's a turbo 6, and it drives a similar, in a similar way. And then even with a 4-cylinder, yeah, it had 2 less cylinders, but it wasn't as, again, it was a lot of low end down torque, not an engine that loved to be revved out, etc. So yeah, it just sort of, and since then, kind of the same thing with the current generation of the BMW 3 Series. You've got a Turbo 4 and a Turbo 6, both for the 340i and the M3 and the M4 model. So you're basically having the same car that's just able to produce more power, but it gets produced in a similar manner, because like it's a turbocharged engine, and turbocharged engines produce power in the same way, basically. Like, so that's why for me, when you look at like what's Pinnacle 3 Series, it has to be the E90, because it offered such a variety to people, to customers, and more variety than the E46 that preceded it. The E46, it was basically all inline 6 engines. The S54 and in the M3 and the M4 produced more horsepower, but it was a naturally aspirated inline 6 engine. And same thing for the 330i and the 325i and whatever else came in. It was just a turbo, a naturally aspirated inline 6 platform. So with the E46, you have a naturally aspirated inline 6 platform. With the E90, you've got a naturally aspirated inline 6 platform, a turbo inline 6 platform, and a high revving naturally aspirated V8 platform. 3 different platforms. And then you get into the F30 generation and beyond, and you're getting basically turbo platforms, one of which has a 4-cylinder engine and the other one has an inline 6 engine. And so that alone, I think, just makes this car the pinnacle of what it is. Couple it with the fact that this was these cars came with hydraulic steering racks, so I mean the best steering feel period. You could buy a lot of those cars with a manual transmission. You know, with the current generation 3 Series, if you want a manual transmission, you have to, you know, buy the M3 or the M4 for 80 grand. And so, you know, you were getting most of the cars were rear-wheel drive, no sports mode or any of that nonsense in the non-M cars. I mean, just a car that was built straight out of the box, you know, to be a driver's car. To have the things that an enthusiast and a driver would want. And you know, for that reason, you know, I think if you go and buy the E90 platform now, like, I mean, they've depreciated as much as they can. It's probably hard to find some clean examples, but to me, you know, it's still one of the best BMWs out there. You know, it's still relatively modern. They're a blast to drive. They're different to drive from anything else that's on the road. And, you know, I think these cars are going to be remembered. You know, I'm not going to say in the same way as, like, you know, the Porsche 993 is, or like the 964. I mean, those are high-end vehicles, but, you know, just sort of as the last of its era, the last of the, you know, the air-cooled era for Porsche, you know, in similar ways, I think that this E90 series 3 Series platform, you know, represents the end of an era, and you know, it's sort of the last of the analog BMW 3 Series, and, you know, frankly, the subsequent generation of the 3 Series just have not been, you know, as good. And if I were given a choice to drive, you know, an E90 platform, any platform, over, you know, the F30 or, you know, the F80 or the G80 or whatever, I would always choose this car. So if if you're on a budget, if you're looking for, you know, just one of the kind of last true BMWs, this is the one to go with. So, all right, guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks, guys.